Everyone in the galaxy thinks we humans are strange, foolish. But truth be told, they think our biggest weakness is our heart. Meet Sergeant Cross. Cross was no high-born noble of the Central Vanguard. Burned skin mapped his jawline from a plasma breach on the outer rim. Dark, hollow craters sat under his eyes from holding the front lines for 3 consecutive weeks. His hands always, well, they shook a little whenever he unbuckled his empty rifle magazine. He was just a low-tier guard assigned to the royal courtyard of the Xylar Empire during a tense political summit. The courtyard was filled with high-ranking alien lords, all whispering and plotting behind their silk banners. The elite commanders of the coalition watched the grand pavilion with cold, calculating eyes. Their minds were small. They only saw power. They only saw leverage. To them, the royal bloodline of the Xylar was a collection of weapons and political bargaining chips. The Xylar royalty was legendary for their terrifying presence. Their bodies were covered in deep, crimson scales that scraped together like rusted metal whenever they moved, and a wet, rhythmic clicking echoed from their mandibles. Their 4 eyes stared out like empty, bottomless pits. No outsider dared to approach them, and even their own servants trembled when passing the royal family. Suddenly, a massive commotion broke out near the throne. The alien queen, absolute ruler of the system, rumbled with a sudden, terrifying fury over a broken alliance. Her psychic shockwave echoed through the air, suffocating and heavy, sending every alien lord in the room dropping to their knees in sheer terror. In the middle of the chaos, the princess's young child, a fragile, shimmering heir to the throne, panicked. The heavy air bit into its lungs like shards of glass. Surrounded by screaming lords and drawn plasma spears, the small child looked around the massive hall for safety. It didn't run to the high commanders. It didn't run to the royal guards. Instead, the alien princess's child ran and hid behind me, clutching the worn fabric of my dirty combat uniform. The entire royal hall went dead cold. The whispering stopped instantly. Even the queen was stunned. Her massive, horned head turned slowly toward the corner of the pavilion, her 4 dark eyes locking onto the small human soldiers standing protectively over her grandchild. The hidden royal guard behind the pillars froze, their plasma weapons hovering in the air. They thought Cross would push the child away. They thought he would drop to his knees and beg the queen not to incinerate him for touching royal blood. But then, Cross did something that shattered their alien logic completely. He didn't run. He didn't lower his head. Instead, he unslung his heavy rifle and planted it firmly against the stone floor with a loud, metallic clang. His shaking hand became, suddenly, perfectly still. He reached down with his rough, scarred left hand, gently patting the child's shimmering scales to calm its trembling, and stepped forward, completely shielding the young heir with his own unarmored body. He didn't look at the queen like an unstoppable god. He looked at her like a guardian protecting what was small and defenseless. He looked straight into the queen's towering gaze and said, "Your Majesty, your lord can cower all they want, and your guard can point those spears. But where I come from, we don't let children get caught in the crossfire of grown-up wars. Humans don't look at alliances or political leverage when a kid is terrified. We fight for the soul. And as long as I'm standing here, nothing is touching this child." He stood his ground, his breath dragging heavy in his chest, completely ignoring the rows of red laser sights instantly painting his chest plate. The queen's mandibles went completely still. Her crimson scales stopped rippling with fury. The air pressure in the room suddenly returned to normal. For 3,000 years, every species that encountered the Xylar crown brought tributes, military threats, or crawled in absolute fear. No one had ever just stood before the throne with raw, unbroken protective instinct, demanding nothing but the safety of a royal child. They realized that the child didn't see a fragile ape, it saw a fortress. Later, the galaxy learned that Cross's defiance didn't lead to his execution. It forged a legendary bond. The queen didn't punish him. She dismissed the guards, stepped down from her high platform, and bowed her head to the human grunt, naming him the personal, lifetime guardian of the royal family. The aliens still sit in their high towers, texting, trying to find the political logic behind why a supreme galactic ruler would trust a bloodline to a broke human soldier. But truth is, humans are just built different. The night is getting late. So, what do you think? We humans really are strange, aren't we?